This episode of the School Zone podcast is brought to you by School Spirit Vending, hassle-free year-round fundraising for your school. At School Spirit Vending, we do all the work. You cash the check. Hey, School Zone podcast listeners, Matt coming at you from Stephenville, Texas. I am really excited tonight to have none other than Michael O'Leary and Jeannie Flores from Fanware on the show. Fanware is a fanware/spiritware company bringing new and innovative products to the fanware industry, in particular schools and colleges. Their focus is on providing customizable products such as sneakers and arm sleeves for colleges and school-aged students and fans of all ages. Fanware is the premium provider of fundraising programs using customized sneakers and arm sleeves for high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, as well as causes and corporations. Fanware is located in Colleyville, Texas, and is family-owned. Welcome, Michael and Jeannie.
Hello.
Thank you, Matt. Good to be here.
Yeah, so Michael, I was reading up on you before we got a chance to get started tonight. I thought it was incredible, kind of your story of how you've worked in the medical compression, hosiery, and socks industry for years, and then started this company as well. So share a little bit of history, where you were before, how this whole idea came about, and where it's gotten you guys today.
Sure. I worked for one of the largest manufacturers of compression garments in the world, and as their national sales business development manager. I ended up being at the Alabama LSU BCS championship game a number of years ago, and 80,000 people pretty much had their arms in the air for 4 hours. And I made the comment to my friend with me at the time, I think I need to take the medicine out of these sleeves and put logos on it. And then we went to work on trying to figure out how to do that and what was involved with licensing. And it took about 1.5 years for us to get all that information together. And then we came up with the concept, and I ended up leaving the manufacturer I was with and started our arm sleeve business. And as we were doing the arm sleeves, we looked for complementary products, trying to pair sleeves and sneakers, and what can we get that was unique in the marketplace. And Spiritware is constantly being looked at by all ages out in the marketplace. Didn't want to focus on the athlete themselves, really wanted to get into the fan base. It's a larger market opportunity, and that's how it came about.
That's awesome. So how long were you in the medical sleeve industry?
So hosiery, which knee highs all the way up to arm sleeves, I was actually I'm still in it, to be candid, but I was with that manufacturer for 8 years.
Well, that's pretty cool. How did the whole sneaker transition take place?
Yeah, we saw sneakers being offered by a couple of companies in the marketplace to the colleges, and we liked the concept and the idea. The issue for us is we had made the decision to start to focus in the high school marketplace. We have over 60 colleges that are licensed for our arm sleeves, but we wanted to be in a marketplace that we could do ongoing business with. And the high school marketplace for what we were offering was untapped. And we thought that was a really good opportunity for us to move into. On top of that, Jeannie, my program coordinator here, she has spent a fair bit of time working in the PTA side of things and really, helped hone in on what that market opportunity was and the insights into how can we go and assist the marketplace in their fundraising. So it allowed us to look at unique products and then to create a unique fundraising tool.
Yeah, I have a son that went into high school, and I'm part of the PTA there, and I'm actually the fundraising coordinator. I said I needed something besides a T-shirt. I said everybody has T-shirts. We needed something different, and so I thought these sneakers were just the way to go.
So what would you say is your focus on sneakers then, or is it on the sleeves, or do you do a little bit of both? I mean, how does that shake out?
Yeah, it's a good question. We started out with the sleeves being the focus until we launched the sneakers. When we met last year, Matt, the interest, the challenge with any product is to get in the door. And while everybody sees the sleeves and they recognize it as unique and they know the kids are wearing them, then when we talk about the benefits of adults wearing them as fans outdoors in the sun, the sneakers really opens more doors for us. And what tends to happen is the interest in the sneakers is significant and quick. Then we are able to piggyback the sleeves as a secondary product to do more with that group.
Talk a little bit about how you guys do the customization. What are some of the limitations for both the sneaker and the sleeve side as far as, working with schools, that type of thing?
Well, we have two processes on the sneakers. We can do a vinyl process where we do graphics that the schools provide for us, their logos or any other banners that they want on the shoe. We create that onto through a vinyl machine who prints it onto heat pressed vinyl, and then we press that onto the sneaker. And then we have another process which we call DTG, which is direct to garment. So it actually prints the image onto the sneaker, so it looks like it was always meant to be there, which has been a real demand. Like, everybody really likes the way that looks along with the vinyl, but with the direct to garment, we can just do so much more. And the sleeves are vinyl, so we do the same thing. We get the graphics, we create it into a pressing situation, and they get put on the sleeves.
So both of the processes, Matt, allow us to look at 4 or 5 color imaging. We have high-end color printers that really we can do photo quality on both sneakers and sleeves. We had one buyer actually ask us at a show last year in January, just how high the resolution could be. I took a picture of her with my iPhone, and I knew she was going to be at the show in a month when we were in Atlanta. And we produced sleeves with her image on it. And before she even got to our booth, other people had told her they had seen her image on sleeves. So we can get as creative and as detailed as somebody wants us to, or as simple and easy as they want us to. And in some cases, if people don't have the ability to do their own graphics, Jeannie and others involved with us here, we can do graphics for them.
So talk to me about, do you guys work primarily in Texas? Do you have the ability to work everywhere? What is your footprint? No pun intended, yes, as far as that's concerned.
No problem. Or our arm reach. So we started in Texas, obviously, and we have shipped product all over the country. And indeed, we've sent some up to Canada. So our goal was get the business and get the interest going within the Texas school environment and the cause marketing and corporate environment, and then expand out from there, which is the process we're now engaged with.
So how was it that you made the leap from college to high school? Was it meeting Jeannie and putting all that together, or how did all that come about? Because you didn't have any background in this industry, so.
Not in the industry, but I had plenty of background with 3 kids who 2 are still in college, and they went through the school system, and I happened to be one of those guys who was always part of the fundraising team in terms of school or the club teams that my kids played on. By getting lucky and having Jeannie join me in what we've got going here, it really added to the expertise in today's marketplace. What's happening with PTAs today, and how can we best help them with the resources we have and create a program that would really be able to be tailored to their needs. So
I've done almost every kind of fundraiser you can imagine with both of my kids and all their activities that they're a part of. So I've had some that I really liked, and I had some that I didn't really care for. And I took all those experiences, and Michael and I, developed a program that I feel any person that needed to do, any organization that needed to do a fundraising, they were going to just truly enjoy having it. It was going to be a really great return on the little amount of work that they had to do.
Awesome. Hey guys, let's do this. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I want to have you guys talk a little bit about who the ideal school is what some of the requirements are, and some of the program highlights for both sides of your business. We'll be right back. Are you an educator, administrator, or school volunteer looking for a simpler way to raise money for your school? Let School Spirit Vending put their hassle-free year-round fundraising program to work for you. School Spirit Vending. We do all the work. You cash the check. Go to schoolspiritvending.com/school zone for all the details. All right, we're back with Michael O'Leary, president of Fanware, and Jeannie Flores, program coordinator for Fanware. Give me an idea of who an ideal school is for you guys, or prospect that makes perfect sense for Fanware and what you guys are doing.
Whether it's the custom arm sleeves or the custom sneakers, we can appeal to schools of all sizes. The ideal school, of course, is those that have a larger student body component to it. But maybe more important than a larger student body is at least an active spirit wear student body. Those that have sport programs or band programs, academic programs like yearbook, that they have a lot of students that ultimately get involved. And we can customize each of our products for those specific types of groups and organizations within the school. So we might have a band booster club or a football booster club that can sell a lot of product and therefore do a large fundraiser benefiting them in a large way. Or we can do a smaller group that is only trying to raise a few hundred or a few $1,000s, but they believe they could sell 20 pair to 50 pair, and we can do programs with them to get it out the door.
So do you do much work in the middle school and the elementary school at all, or is it most of it with the older kids?
So far, it's been the high schools, but the elementaries, because we just added the children's sizes to our shoe line. Now the interest is there with us wanting to go in there. And even though we would do the high school, the children's sizes are on there. So you still have the ability to get all sizes. And if we go to an elementary, you still have the ability to get the adult sizes. So any school really would benefit from it.
When we went to the annual PTA last July and we pre-launched our program in the sneaker side, we were launching our arm sleeves and showing the sneakers at the time. We had over 100 elementary PTAs register with us to say if we brought in youth sizes, they would like to do programs. So we've spent the last several months getting the youth sizes organized, and we just received them a couple of months ago, and now we're at the door with it. With the PTA mid-year show that just occurred this past weekend, we launched it at that show.
You know, I'm sure, Jeannie, you've seen this, and Michael as well. So many of these schools out there are looking for something different.
Right.
But they're also leery because they're used to whatever it is they're doing, providing X number of dollars. So when we met initially, Michael, I was really excited to have you on because this is one of those things that's different, and it brings something completely new, something completely refreshing to the families of the schools that you're working with. Instead of the same old that a lot of them feel they don't have any other option but to continue to go back to year after year after year. You know, I haven't been in the industry nearly as long as some, but it seems like there hasn't been a whole lot of innovation in 20 years or more. So it excites me to have companies like yours arrive on the scene and to start to do what you're doing, because I think that now that you guys have the youth sizes, and of course our program, we work primarily at the elementary schools. So that's where most of my time and focus is. But for you guys to have this and to be able to roll it out in that way, I mean, I can see huge excitement and interest now that you've got that available. It's just a matter of getting in their cycle of decisions at this point, right? To be one of those events or whatever that they choose to have next school year or beyond.
Yeah, it's and I appreciate the comments. The challenge always when I was on the fundraising side is, and Jeannie alluded to it earlier, is how much time do we have as parents and as volunteers, and how effective can we be? And then the second part to it is with what I'm bringing and knocking on other people's doors or asking them to buy, is it value? Is it a good value for them? And don't get me wrong, I must admit, any student who knocked on my door, I bought from them, even if it was the second or the third time, that somebody came to the door, because I always believed if I was sending my kids out the door to do their fundraising, I wasn't going to say no to somebody else. At the same time, I look at the sneakers in particular. Every parent buys their kids sneakers every year. So we're taking a product that's already being purchased. We're, gussying it up so that it looks fun and funky with images that the schools themselves are providing. And in some cases, we've talked to some PTAs and we've suggested maybe you could have a contest where the school itself will create what that image looks like, and the winning student perhaps gets their free pair and acknowledged on the website and whatnot. So there's different ways to go about this, but it's still a product that people already spend money on and that drives the school spirit.
That's very, very cool.
I think another thing is that as you get older, the kids lose interest in a lot of the other fundraising processes and what they have to offer. I think the kids need to be excited in order to help raise the funds. And so the shoes, they're right up their alley. The styles that we have, they're wearing them now. And so it just adds to their wardrobe. And, it's instead of doing another t-shirt, how we're going to do t-shirts, which is what the kids really like, this adds to that. So they get excited and they get to show everything. My son loves his, and he gets stopped all the time, so I think the high school and middle schools would just eat these up really easy. They'd be easy to sell.
Yeah, and then there's a longevity component to it as well, Matt, is we look at the first image being the starting point of the program. And then next year they'll come back, hopefully, and they'll say, hey, can we do a second image or a third image or a fourth image, so that as each program goes out the door, they've got multiple choices of customizing. And that'll help keep it fresh and fun as their tastes and changes move along with each school year.
So talk a little bit about the program highlights, some of the things that schools would want to know, at least initially. I mean, it sounds like you guys have made this as easy as it can possibly be for these guys, and as risk-free as you can make it for these schools to come on board and partner with you guys. So talk about those highlights so that folks have at least a brief overview of some of that.
Well, the first one that always catches my eye when I'm looking at all the fundraisers is there's no upfront cost. You don't have to buy 100 pairs and then try and sell them. It's all at the time of order after you've taken everybody's order who would like to purchase. So for me, that was a big selling point to any fundraiser that I did. My
arm sleeve was twisted by Jeannie making sure we had that kind of a program.
Yes, that was a big one.
There's the PTA mom speaking up. So good for you, Jeannie.
Yeah, it was important that whatever we brought to the school marketplace, that to Jeannie's point, it was easy for people to say yes. We want them to effectively, they come to us, we'd like to do your program. We discuss what the image in the program would look like. They send us their image. We create what it could look like on the sneaker for them. We send it back to them for approval. And then only once they approve it, we create a prototype and take a photo of it. And then we send it to them. This is what your sneaker is going to look like. And then the process begins. Whether they do a 21-day or a 28-day on-school sell, off-school sell, come back with their orders. Here's how many pair we have. We've got 12 pair. We've got 112 pair. It really doesn't matter to us in terms of how the program can get out the door. We want small orders and big orders because Our experience so far is as soon as the kids start seeing the sneaker, all right, and what it can turn into, the excitement goes up and the interest level goes up.
And then as far as price breaks, what is it? I guess $50 or 50 pairs and above is when those breaks can occur, correct?
Correct. We don't charge any setup fee for 50 pair and over, and we charge a small setup fee for any order under 50 pair. So if somebody comes to us and says, I've got a team of 12 or a team of 6 or a group of 15, we'd like to do something, will you do it for us? And the answer is yes. And all we do is we charge them the same price that the 50 pair would get plus a $35 setup fee, making it very easy for almost anybody to get in the program.
So how soon ahead of time do people have to start working with you guys? Obviously, it's February time frame. There are still some schools that could do your program here, I would guess, but between now and the end of the school year. And then, of course, once that's passed, when in the summer do they need to be getting in your queue and getting the ball rolling so that they could roll this out the beginning of this next fall semester and have a viable fundraiser with it?
Well, the time, it all depends on how long they take to approve their graphic or get me the graphic. Once we have the graphic and it's all approved, we'll send out the paperwork right away for you to start taking orders when you're ready. And then you can do it as long as you want. And then once your sale is over, you get all of your orders together. You give us a call. You tell us how much, you've sold, and we tell you the price. You pay for that. You keep the profit. And then we have two weeks after we get everything in our location to send out the merchandise to you, and you can pass it out from there.
So do you guys have a recommended, everybody's always asking, so what's the percentage we get? Do you guys have a recommendation there or a standard, or is it completely up to the school what they charge on their end versus what you guys charge?
Yeah, that's a great question, because one of the challenges I think in any fundraising is what am I stuck with? What is it that I have to do your program at? And we make it really easy for any program. We do not determine the selling price. The group does. So the people that we're working with, whether it's the school PTA or it's the group within the PTA or club in the school, as a general rule and guideline, the collegiate image sneakers in the marketplace sell for $60 as an MSRP. We have recommended that each of the schools look at $60 as an MSRP, but we give them full flexibility. If they feel 55 or 50 is a better price point for them, then they're free to charge that. And obviously their take on it is dependent on two factors: their selling price that they've established and the volume that they purchase in terms of what their cost is going to be. Now, one additional point, we give discounts based upon academic year volume. So instead of a school worrying, how do I get to a $25 profitable scenario, or how do I get my costs down from what our wholesale 50 pair price is, how do I get to the 500 pair price? They can do a 50 pair order, and then the program takes off. Now they do a 200 pair order, and then they do another 200 pair order, say 3 times during the year. They're now at the 450 pair price. So we accumulate the volume over the academic year, making it a better profitable program for them as the year goes on.
So as they place those subsequent orders, they get the new price for that order based on all year's orders. Cool. That's
another thing that I think we point out is we also put it onto our website, so you can always direct people to the website and look at the images and stuff there and purchase from there after your selling period is done.
Right. And we share a royalty with each sale that's done with that school or with that club.
So do you guys have a couple of success stories that you could share real quick of a couple different schools that, just to give folks an idea of what this has done for some others? out there. I know that that's always been valuable for me to know that I'm not the only one, you know?
So we received our inventory in early December, so we missed the Christmas selling season. So we really began marketing it in the new year. We now have Wiley High School started their program last week, so it's a new program that's out the door. We have Skyline High School have committed to doing a program 2 weeks ago, and that's going to start the week after March break. And Skyline, of course, is the 12th largest student population in high schools in the country. So we're very excited to have both Wiley and Skyline on board. We have Flower Mound Football Booster Club, and we have Trinity High School Band have both agreed to do programs. And we're really just getting those out the door. One, again, as a new product, as exciting as it is, it tends to create more dialogue with more people in the process. So when you asked earlier, when should people start getting their processes and looking at putting it in place, because of the nature of both clubs and PTAs, the sooner they begin their dialogues, the sooner a decision can get made to include our product in their fundraising. As an example, if a school that had a population of 2,000 kids ended up selling it at the MSRP price, and they got just 10% of the students and 10% of the teachers, the parents, the siblings, and aunts and uncles to buy the product in their fundraiser, they could raise in excess of $20,000 with that program. So from an efficient and effective use of their volunteer time, we think we offer a solid bang for the buck.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you guys have any parting words or thoughts before we kind of close things out this evening that you want to leave with our listeners?
Well, we're really excited about it. I know my friends that are all part of PTAs, they're all really excited about it. And, we're always here for anybody. I've been, in that fundraising sector for a long time. And we put a lot of effort into this program to make it right for all of those moms who are or dads that are very busy, but still have to try and find funds for the organization. So it's just going to be a really fresh and new product, even the sleeves. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and to add to that, at the end of the day, we only have so much time to generate the revenue that we want our kids to have for programs and activities. And we're committed to helping any way we can, whether that's doing the graphics for our folks, getting our prototypes done, helping them understand how it can benefit not just PTAs, but the groups within the PTAs and the schools. We're available to go and meet with these schools as much as we can and as distance and time allows. And whatever we can help them with, we're on board. We're both parents and fundraisers, and we know what the challenge is, and we think we've got a really unique couple of products here that can help make their time just a little easier as they go out the door.
Awesome. Well, like I said earlier, guys, I'm excited about this product. I'm excited that Michael and Jeannie had some time to talk tonight, because I think this is going to be something that is going to get a lot of people excited in the months and years ahead. It's something new that folks can get really, really excited about and do something special and customized for your school, which the entire economy is going more and more that way every day with 3D printers and all that stuff on the horizon. So Michael and Jeannie, I appreciate your guys' time. I'm excited to hear how things continue to grow for you guys as we run into each other at events here around Texas and hopefully in other states before long too. So you guys have a great night and appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate the time.
This episode of the School Zone podcast is brought to you by School Spirit Vending, hassle-free year-round fundraising for your school. At School Spirit Vending, we do all the work. you cash the check.